Roberto Rossellini returns to this program with Europa 51, released in 1952. A true blessing of a film. Immediately after the release of 1950's The Flowers of St. Francis, Rossellini declared to his wife, Ingrid Bergman, "I am going to make a story about St. Francis, and she's going to be a woman, and it's going to be you." Think of this as a kind of mission statement for Europa 51. Ingrid Bergman portrays Irene Gerard, the wife of a wealthy industrialist whose son, after complaining several times about his depression, dies from a suicide attempt. Irene, initially trying to distract herself from her overwhelming grief, becomes dedicated, obsessed, with helping the less fortunate sections of the society around her. Her manic selflessness leads her husband and mother to believe she has gone mad. The film's narrative makes an effort to explore the imaginary role of an altruistic saint in post-war Rome. Capturing that iconic zeitgeist of Rossellini's near-realist pictures, it then introduces a character whose will to life, desires for self-sustainment, are extinguished, replaced with an overpowering urge to enrich the lives of others. It depicts a society which reacts coarsely to Irene's gallantry. She finds herself in trouble with the law, labelled an accomplice to the escape of a young thief. It is decided that Irene must be placed in a mental institution, a decision supported by her husband. The directors of the institution express consternation about Irene's residence there. They acknowledge how lucid and consistent her new way of life is, and they wonder whether her philosophies are progressive and of great use. However, on this same note, it is deemed that post-war Italian society is just too fragile for a character like Irene, fiercely staunch in her criticism of the society and culture around her as unjust. They deem it reasonable to declare Irene mentally unsound and pathological, regardless of any virtue it might inspire in her or others. What we have here is one of the most monumental works of post-war European cinema, a high watermark for Rossellini to be sure, and this is almost as good, if not as good, as Ingrid Bergman has ever been. This film is direct, it does not wade in ethereal water, it depicts a hollow society, an insensitive machine which imprisons those who serve it. This isn't an expressive film or an aesthetically passionate film, or no, it certainly isn't one which indulges in technical experimentation. It is a kind of declaration, a cry for justice, the fictive testimony of a materially blessed soul who lost all craving to enhance her happiness, and so only saw purpose in enriching the conditions of others. This film is a tragic monument to our species' ethical potential. I have linked in the description an ebook of Peter Burnett's book on Rossellini, specifically its segment on Europa 51, although all of it appears to be available to read, thankfully. Yes, this is a masterpiece and among the most affecting films I've ever viewed. I shall leave you with a quoted sentiment from David Thompson, who wrote that the film, quote, suggests with pitiless clarity that the middle class cannot cleanse its conscience simply by enjoying bicycle thieves. So, enjoy the life you have, and see if you cannot bring any joy, any love, to those around you. Anyone at all.